I used to believe that betrayal arrives like a storm, loud, violent, impossible to ignore. Turns out, it moves more like a shadow, quiet, slow, almost gentle, until it settles over everything you thought you understood. My name is Ethan Collins, and this is the story of how the woman I loved, Claire, slipped out of our life before I even realized she was leaving. We lived in Austin, Texas, in a small apartment near South Congress, 7 years together, 5 married. The kind of life where neighbors assumed we were solid, stable, the couple who attended barbecues, paid their taxes early, and argued only about the laundry. I thought I knew every angle of Claire's smile. I thought I knew her routines, her moods, the sound she made when she sank into bed after a long day. I thought love protected us from drifting. I was wrong. It started in a co-working space downtown, though I didn't know that until much later. I remember the exact day she began acting different. She came home with this lightness in her walk, a glow in her cheeks. I thought maybe she got good news at work. Long day, I asked. A little, she said, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. We're moving offices for a bit. I kissed her hair. It smelled like vanilla shampoo and something new, something I didn't recognize. I didn't ask questions, not then. Maybe that was my first mistake. Over the next few weeks, I noticed cracks forming in the routine we built. Claire started coming home later. Not dramatically later, just 30 minutes, then an hour, then 2. Sorry, babe, she'd say, kissing my cheek lightly. Busy day. Her phone, once left casually on counters and couches, now lived in silent mode, face down, glued to her hand like a secret. She laughed more often at messages she never let me see. She felt brighter somehow ... but not because of me. I told myself I was imagining it, but you can't lie to yourself forever. One evening I woke up around 1:30 a.m. Claire wasn't in bed. I found her in the living room, sitting on the couch in the dark, her phone glowing against her face. She looked startled when she noticed me. "Oh," she said, breath quick. I couldn't sleep. "Who are you texting at 1:30? Just co-workers," she said, fast. Lies have a particular sound. That was the first time I heard it in her voice. She put her phone away and climbed back into bed, but her body felt miles away from mine. I stared at the ceiling long after she fell asleep. Something was wrong. I just didn't know what, or who, yet. A name as ordinary as any other, Ryan Carter. I didn't know him. Had never heard of him, never met him. But months later, I would stand in her living room, holding Claire's phone in my shaking hands, reading his message. "Tell me you'll stay the night." To this day, that line still feels like a knife. But I'm getting ahead of the story. People assume I snooped. I didn't. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter while she showered. I glanced at the screen purely out of habit. The preview showed his name. Then the words, my stomach hollowed, my legs stopped working. I didn't pick up the phone right away. I paced. I prayed I'd misread it. I sat down, stood up, sat again. Finally, I opened the message. There were others, dozens, hundreds. Some innocent, some not. Photos, inside jokes. Plans for weekends she claimed she spent working late. I felt something inside me collapse, quietly, like a building sinking rather than exploding. When she came out of the shower, hair wrapped in a towel, she saw the phone in my hand and froze. "Ethan," she whispered, "please." How long? My voice didn't sound like mine. She started crying. 3 months, she whispered. I felt everything and nothing at once. We didn't yell. We didn't scream. Maybe we should have. But when devastation grows too deep, it steals your ability to raise your voice. "I thought we were okay," I said quietly. "I thought we were us. We were," she cried. "I didn't mean for this to happen." "Then why did you let it?" She didn't have an answer. Maybe there wasn't one. I walked out. Not with a suitcase, not with rage, just with the weight of a future that no longer existed. I met Ryan once, not intentionally. It happened behind the co-working space when I went back for Claire's forgotten notebook. I hadn't expected to see anyone at 8 p.m., but there he was, leaning against a concrete wall, checking his phone, looking like he owned the night. He looked up. Our eyes met. "Are you Ethan?" he asked. He knew who I was. I didn't know whether to punch him or walk away. Instead, I did something worse. I spoke calmly. "Why her?" He shrugged. No guilt, no apology. "She seemed unhappy," he said, and we connected. He connected with the version of her who only existed in secrets. I walked past him without another word. Punching him would have been easier than walking away with my dignity. 3 days passed before Claire came home. I expected excuses. Tears. Apologies rehearsed to sound sincere. Instead, she stood in the hallway, small and tired. I ended it, she whispered. I didn't answer. "I know you don't trust me. I know I broke something I might never fix, but if you're willing. Not to forgive, not now, but to talk, I'll be here." I looked at her. The woman I married. The woman who broke me. The woman I still, painfully, stupidly, loved. "I'm not ready," I said, and it was the truest thing I'd ever spoken. People think the hardest part is finding out. It isn't. The hardest part is the morning after, when you wake up and realize nothing in your house has changed, but every truth inside it has. Her toothbrush was still next to mine, her sweater still hung on the chair. Her laughter still lived in the walls, but we weren't us anymore. We were two strangers with a shared past and a broken future. Still, we agreed to try talking, slowly, carefully, honestly, whether that leads to forgiveness. I don't know. Whether it should. I also don't know. But healing isn't a decision, it's a process. And right now, I'm still in the middle of it. If you asked me what betrayal feels like, I'd tell you this. It's the moment you realize the person you loved found a version of herself she didn't share with you. It's the silence after the truth drops. It's the way your name sounds when spoken by someone who hurt you. It's choosing, every day, whether the pain will define you or shape you. I don't hate Claire. I don't hate Ryan. I hate that I didn't notice the distance sooner. I hate that love, even strong love, can weaken quietly. I hate that sometimes people break things they never meant to drop. But I'm still here, still breathing, still learning how to live in the space between what was and what will be. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for now.